Welcome to the Subscriber Coaching Sim League, or the SCSL. And this is a league that is only on NCAA 14. It's being run through Discord. We have 18 different coaches. Couldn't fit all of them into one save file because of coaching limits. So we've got 2 save files, which will be 2 leagues of 9 teams each. We are not looking for any more coaches right now, but if you are not a part of it already and would like to be, we can use more user players. The link to that Discord server is in the description of this video. And we are here ready to kick off the SCSL. We've got our week 1 game. We will show 1 game a week from each league, and those games will be voted on in the server. Our week 1 game is Mississippi State, Oklahoma State. And Mississippi State is controlled by Super Ninjas. And they're going to start with the ball, and Keaton Thompson is going to be intercepted by Justin Phillips. Oklahoma State is a CPU team, and they're going to take over after the interception. Right there, Dylan Stoner will make the catch for a gain of 14. And later on, it's now a 3rd and 4 here. Back to pass. And J.D. King blown up in the backfield. He's got nowhere to go. Big stop for this Bulldog defense. And Taylor Cornelius is 4-6 for 26 yards already, but Oklahoma State has to settle for 3 after the interception. And so they've got the ball back later. It's 3rd and 10. Cornelius taking a shot deep, going, got a man, that's caught! Dylan Stoner in the back of the end zone drags the tiptoe in bounds. What a catch by Stoner, and Oklahoma State about to take a 10-0 lead. Just look at that magnificent catch there for Stoner. And the Cowboys are on top 10 early. Mississippi State with not much going right now. Thompson is actually going to take off. Thought about passing. Instead he's going to scramble. He's got a big hole. And Keaton Thompson is going to pick up 22 on the scramble. So we are into the second quarter now. It's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to Kylan Hill up the middle. Hill's into the end zone for the first touchdown for Mississippi State. And it's 10-7 now. They're on 3rd and 4, going deep. Cornelius got a man. It'll be Dylan Stoner again. That's 38 more. And this Stoner-Cornelius connection is racking up a lot of yards here for Oklahoma State. Later on, 3rd and 3, got a man underneath. It's Tyron Johnson. And Johnson's into the end zone. It is now 17-7 Oklahoma State on top here. 4:23 to go in the first half. It's a 3rd and 15 here now for Mississippi State later. And they're taking a shot deep. It's Stephen Guidry going to pick up 28 and a first down. So it's now a 3rd and 2 here. They moved it inside the 5. Back to pass. Looks end zone. Got a man. No, it's dropped. Thompson had the touchdown pass right there, but the receiver cannot hold on. It's 4th and 2, and they're going to go for it instead of kicking the field goal. Thompson had nowhere to go. He's not going to get it. The Oklahoma State defense stands strong, and Mississippi State turns it over on downs. They do get the ball back, though, as Oklahoma State had to punt. And there goes Thompson inside the 25, going to pick up a nice gain on the ground there, using his feet to move the chains. Now first down, back to passes. Thompson taking a shot. Got a man, it's caught! And that's Osiris Mitchell for 26 yards and the touchdown. And so it's 17-14 Oklahoma State as they are running down the clock. Last play of the first half, it will be intercepted. And we'll see if they can return it for a touchdown. They cannot, and that is how the first half ends, with Oklahoma State on top of Mississippi State 17-14 here. Now in the second half, we're already to the almost 4:30 mark of the 3rd quarter. And that's a big 3rd down conversion right there for Stoner, who's over 100 yards receiving today. On 1st and goal, Cornelius will keep it himself, and Taylor Cornelius has the end zone. Taylor Cornelius will find pay dirt on the read option, and it's 24-14 Cowboys. 3rd and 10, that's a nice catch right there to move the chains for Mississippi State. They've got 161 passing yards so far. Osiris Mitchell there, the big grab to move the chains. And we will see if Mississippi State can answer back, get it back to a 1-score game here on this drive. It's 3rd and 14 now, taking a shot deep. Got a man! That's caught. Osiris Mitchell's into the end zone. The 2nd receiving score of the day for Osiris Mitchell, and it's back to a 3-point ball game here. We've got a minute 23 to go in the third. It's 24-21, Oklahoma State going deep. And that is Britton Abbott for 32 yards. This passing game has been electric for Oklahoma State here today. However, later on they would have to settle for a field goal. That kick is through the uprights, and it's 27-21 now, Oklahoma State. Later on, they've got the ball here in the fourth quarter, taking a shot deep on 1st and 10. Got a man! And that is Dylan Stoner for 42 more yards. He's got 7 catches, 156 yards. And on 3rd and goal, they'll pitch it out. This defense will stand up to Justice Hill. He's hit in the backfield by Brian Cole. And Oklahoma State's got to settle for 3, but it's a 9-point ball game here. 2 minutes left. That's a big conversion right there. Javonta Payton, 26 yards on 3rd and like 14. And they're going to have to settle for a field goal to make it a one-score game again. But with only a minute 47 left, they've got to try the onside kick. Here it comes. It'll be picked up by Oklahoma State, and that should do it. Jelani Woods with the recovery for the Cowboys, and Oklahoma State was able to run out the rest of this clock. They win 30-24. Thompson had a pretty good game. He had the interception on the first drive, but was fine outside of that. Receiving-wise, there is Osiris Mitchell and not much else. Cole had 11 tackles on defense. As you know, this was a pretty good game. A lot of offense for both sides. The passing games especially were on fire, particularly Cornelius to Stoner for Oklahoma State. But now we get ready to take a look at the rest of the League One games. RSV's South Carolina Gamecocks win 14-10 over North Carolina. Bentley went 11 of 25, 190 yards for South Carolina. They also had a couple people get 70 yards rushing. Touchdowns for Bentley and Dowdle on the ground. And so the first user team to win here in the SCSL is South Carolina. Defensively, Fennell and Green both had 11 tackles. There was an interception for Mukamu and one for Green. A fumble recovery right there for Kinlaw and for Mukamu. So Mukamu with 2 turnovers right there for the South Carolina defense. White misses only field goal try, but South Carolina gets the win. Indiana, coached by Eagle Ninjask, E.J. Moeller, is not so lucky. They lose 49-21 to Ball State. It wasn't the fault of the quarterback play, though, as Ramsey went 21 of 32, 188 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's got 16 carries, 119 yards. And so the offense did well. It's just the defense gave up 49 points to Ball State, and it's going to be hard to win when you do that. Westbrook had 79 yards receiving. Defensively, obviously not much to write home about when you lose 49-21. Texas takes down New Mexico State 31-3. Congrats to Mitchell O'Brien. Mitchie boy is going to win his first game. They overpower New Mexico State. Ellinger with 2 rushing scores and also had a touchdown through the air. That one went to Johnson. And it's defensively, there's not too much to look at there. But yeah, a couple deflections, a forced fumble for Hager, and a forced fumble for Johnson. Fumble recovery for McCulloch, and I guess that's it. Alright, Dicker went 1 for 2 on field goal tries, made a 44-yarder. Ohio State obliterates Buffalo 52-21. Congrats to Apple on picking up the win. They had a couple punt return touchdowns there. Fields went 16 of 37, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Fields also had a rushing touchdown. Dobbins had 78 yards on the ground. Farrell had 4 catches, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. Warner had 9 tackles, an interception right there for Harrison, and another one for Warner as well. So, yeah, just domination right there for Ohio State. A forced fumble for Cooper, and the recovery went to Browning. They made their only field goal try, and you can see a couple punt return touchdowns right there. Arkansas, coached by Lance Spurlock, they're going to lose 31-28 to Louisiana Lafayette. Nolan went 19 of 40 for 340 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also had an interception. Stewart, 5 catches, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, but it comes in a losing effort. And we've already had the vote for Week 2 in Discord, and you will see Lance and the Razorbacks in the Week 2 game for the League 1. They will be taking on Rutgers in New Jersey. Pitt loses a close one. They're coached by a Steelers fan. They hang tough with Florida State, but lose in overtime 22-19. Pickett went 14 of 27, 109 yards and an interception. And he will be out for another week still, as he has a strained back, I believe, is the injury. Davis, 21 carries, 105 yards. Not much to write home about in the receiving game. Defensively, you had a couple with 8, 3 more with 7 tackles. A bunch of deflections for the secondary. And a forced fumble for Jackson. And he also had the fumble recovery. So, a low-scoring game right there. Pitt plays well but cannot get the win. Their kicker, Kessman, goes 4 for 4 with a long of 46 yards. And he's the player of the game. As now we move into the League 2 game for Week 1. And it is my team, Nebraska. We will be taking on Drew Ekstrom's Kansas State Wildcats here. And we're into League 2 now. The first game in League 1 was exciting. Hopefully this one is exciting in and of itself, as we are here at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, the Sea of Red, and the Huskers getting set to take on the Kansas State Wildcats. You've got Christian Horn and Drew Ekstrom, both sidelines with new coaches beginning their careers here. And on the first play from scrimmage, they'll give it to Ozigbo. Divino Ozigbo's got that one to the sideline. Ozigbo running hard across the 45, pick up 23 and a first down. So Ozigbo, the senior, going to get a big gain right there later on, 3rd and 10. Adrian Martinez loading up, going deep, got a man! And it's J.D. Spielman who'll make the catch and get out of bounds. Gain of 31. Move those chains for the Huskers. And now back to pass. That'll be caught underneath by Austin Allen for a gain of 13. And Nebraska moving the ball well here on this first drive. However, it would stall out in goal-to-goal situation. And out comes freshman Barrett Pickering for the field goal try. The kick is through the uprights and good, and it's 3-0 Nebraska. Now we see what Kansas State can do as they face a 2nd and 6. That's Skylar Thompson picking up 10 yards and a first down. Later on, it's 2nd and 9, and Thompson will keep it himself again. He's going to stiff arm a defender. He's got the first down, 12 more yards. Later on, that's a new drive, 2nd and 6. They'll go screen. That's intercepted. The route jumped by Lamar Jackson, and he's got reservations for 6. Touchdown, Nebraska. They lead it 9-0. Going to be 10-0 pending the extra point on the defensive score. Lamar Jackson, the cornerback, jumps that screen pass, stands right in front of it, and he breaks one tackle from the receiver, and he's off to the races. He's got reservations for 6 in the end zone. And Nebraska has extended its lead here with its defense. And later on, they've got the ball back. The defense playing well again. Martinez back to pass. He's going to take off now. He's going to get outside the pocket. He's got this one across midfield. Martinez, all kinds of running room. He's got 26 yards and a first down. They're on 3rd and 10. Martinez back to pass. Over the middle, got a man, but he overthrew him. Martinez had 6 if he can hit his tight end in stride. Instead, he airmails him. And Nebraska's got to settle for 3. Pickering will send that one through the uprights. It's 13-0 now, Nebraska. K-State still not able to do anything. Martinez going to get this one across midfield. All kinds of daylight for Martinez on the ground here today. So that'll give the Huskers 100 yards rushing. 6 carries, 52 yards for Martinez, but Nebraska cannot take advantage. The drive would stall out, and there's Barnes underneath for a gain of 13 to get K-State into field goal range. 5 seconds left in the first half, and K-State's on the board with a field goal. A 3rd and 10 now here on the first drive of the second half, and Thompson's going down. He's dropped for a sack, loss of 5. It's Carlos Davis coming free to make the play and end this Kansas State drive. As Davis, you can see the nice spin move right there, hits Thompson as he's getting ready to throw it, and Thompson is dropped for a loss. Kansas State not able to do much on offense, but they're going to get the ball back after Nebraska can't do anything. They want to scramble, and Thompson's going down again. Thompson going to lose 11. That's Dedrick Young, the third, the linebacker coming up at the play. It's 3rd and 18. Thompson unloads, got a man open, and that'll be a first down. Gain of 30 for Weber on a 3rd down and 18 later on. It's now 3rd and 11. Thompson back to pass, hit and dropped again. Another sack for this black shirt defense. And that's Ben Stilley. He's got 2 tackles for loss already today. He just came free to get the sack, and then that drive, 4th and 17, K-State punts. Martinez on the option. He's going to pitch that one out to Stanley Morgan. And we're into the 4th quarter now. It's still only 13-3. 4th and 4, Nebraska going to have to settle for another field goal. And that kick is through the uprights. Pickering 3 for 3 so far today. K-State can't do anything on offense. 2nd and 8 and a first down will end it. And that'll be Jalen Bradley, the running back, going to pick up 9 in the first down. And that'll do it. So much less high scoring than the League One game. But Nebraska wins this one 16-13. Or 16-3 rather. It was still a pretty good game. Thompson, not too great on the ground. Really no running game to speak of for either team. Barnes had 4 catches for 20 yards. Weber, the team's leading receiver, had 30 yards on only 1 catch. But no, this was a defensive showdown, and those games can be exciting too. The only touchdown of the game came on a defensive score, so Deshaun had 7 solo tackles for the Wildcats. Then it's tackles for loss now. You had 2 for Balmonte and Deshaun, 1 apiece for Walker, Patton, and Shelley. 2 sacks for Bell, 1 each for Deshaun and Monty. No interceptions there. Lynch went 1 for 1. And Anktil, the punter, had 7 punts for over 300 yards. Martinez, a 109.3 QB rating, 8 of 13. Didn't throw it a ton. Only 74 yards, but, Martinez was efficient enough through the air. Made a couple big completions when he needed to. Bradley, 16 carries, 73 yards. Martinez, 9 for 54. Ozigbo had 15 and 69 before he got hurt in the 3rd quarter. It was nothing serious. He was just out for the rest of the game, and so Bradley took over running duties in the 4th. A balanced rushing attack for the Huskers today. Warner had 2 catches for 9. Morgan had 2 for 17. 1 for Ozigbo, 1 for 13 for Allen, and 1 for 31 for Spielman. Defensively, Trey Neal had 8, Luke Gifford had 7, Dedrick Young had 6, Antonio Reed, Ben Stilley had 3. Tackles for loss, 2 for Stilley, Young, Neal, and Gifford, 1 apiece for Freedom Akinmoladun and Muhammad Berry and a couple other guys. Sacks for Davis, Stilley, Gifford, and Young. The interception, the only turnover of the day was Lamar Jackson's pick 6. And that was the only touchdown of the game, too. You also had deflections from Neal and Pickering, probably the player of the game. He went 3 for 3. The freshman makes all 3 of his field goal tries along a 40. And now we'll get to the rest of the League 2 games. Penn State, coached by my guy Hobie, he's going to take down Syracuse 49-27. Just pulled away in the second half. Lewis, 10 for 21, 166 yards. Clifford, 5 for 14, 64, touchdown, 2 interceptions. Not much in the running game for Penn State. Freemuth had 105 receiving yards. Defensively, not a ton to write home about. Just tackle-wise, very balanced tackling. Interceptions for Reed, and you had a couple others, I believe. You had one for Gordon as well. And so 2 interceptions for the Penn State defense. Had a few deflections. Reed had 3 breakups in addition to the interception. A forced fumble for Castro Fields and a forced fumble for Wade. Wade recovered both fumbles, so he's the player of the game right there for Penn State. Defensive touchdowns for Gordon and Reed. So I believe those were both pick sixes then. 2 pick sixes. Pinegar went 0 for 1 on his field goal tries. And we got Royal and Poison. His Eastern Michigan team will take down FCS East 34-20. They outscore FCS East by 10 in the fourth quarter to create some breathing room. Uyghurs went, he had a pretty good day. Had 3 touchdowns, 206 yards. Shaq Van, 15 carries, 80 yards, a touchdown. Oaks, Jackson, and Sexton each had receiving scores. So a balanced offensive showing for Eastern Michigan, and they get the opening win. Defensively, again, you're seeing balanced tackles, but you have Hoying with an interception. And I think we had a couple other interceptions as well. Yeah, you had one from Williams as well. So 2 interceptions for this Eastern Michigan defense, no forced fumbles. And Fricano went 2 for 3 on field goal tries along a 31. And Oregon, coached by Octagonal Gaming, they survive an upset bid from FCS Southeast. Number 13 only beats FCS Southeast 20-13. Herbert went 5 of 8 for 82 yards, must have gotten hurt at some point during the game and had to sit out for the rest of the game because he didn't show up on the injury report. But Habibi Likio had 33 carries, 162 yards, a touchdown, and he is your player of the game. Provided most of the offense there for Oregon as they stave off the upset bid from FCS Southeast. Interceptions, you had Lenoir had 1. And I think they had one other, that was McKinley the third, had a pick. And a forced fumble for Winston Jr. as well. Stack went 2 for 2 on his field goal tries. And Franchise Gaming, FG's Boise State Broncos, they put up a tough fight against number 14 Washington. But they're going to lose this one 17-14. Bachmeyer went 5 of 20, 54 yards, and interception. Alexander Madison, 15 carries, 81 yards. But just really nothing on offense for Boise State. Monster had 3 catches, 33 yards. Moa had 9 tackles. Weaver had 7. And so I think Pierce had a pick 6, a 21-yard pick 6. And yeah, it was a pick 6 defensive touchdown for him there. And a forced fumble for Horton and Moa. And 1 fumble recovery. Hogarth went 0 for 1 on field goal tries. Skillen had 11 punts for 137 yards and 5 down inside the 40. They also had a kick return by Thomas to provide the 2 touchdowns right there. And AP's Georgia Bulldogs going to lose to number 1 Clemson. They put up a good fight, but Clemson just too much. A good offensive attack for Georgia, really. They put up points, they put up yards. But the defense just couldn't quite get enough stops as Clark had 8 tackles. No one else had more than 5. Webb had an interception. Reed had 2 pass breakups, 2 deflections right there. And yeah, that was all of note for defense right there. Rod Blankenship makes his only field goal try for Georgia. And our final game for week 1, Josh Fernald. Josh, your UCLA Bruins take down Nevada 28-19. Wilton Spade, a 163 QB rating. He had 14 for 26, 181 yards, 4 touchdowns. Kelly, 23 carries, 151 yards, so offense galore there. And Howard had 5 catches, 44 yards, 2 touchdowns. 7 tackles apiece for Woods, Barn, and Wade. Andrews Jr. had 6. And defensively, You see a couple pass breakups and no forced fumbles. Molson went 0 for 1 on field goal tries. But that'll do it for this episode. We've kicked off the SCSL. Again, a reminder, if you are interested in joining the league, becoming a player, click on the link to the server in the description. But that'll do it for me, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day, everybody.